My name is Raul Batista. Prompt story, recovery story, prompt one. Okay, well, I'm here to, talk a little bit about myself, how I first started getting involved into little drugs and then bigger drugs. I first started off with the Boone's Farm liquor, and then I moved along to marijuana. Then from marijuana, I moved on to PCP does. Then from PCP does, I did some coke, did the crack, and then eventually the heroin, which is what I've been stuck on basically mostly all my life on. All the rest of the other drugs, I did it for a year or 2 years, and then mostly I would just get bored of it and graduate into a new drug, a better drug that I thought it was. Eventually, after several times going in and out of prison and going into a bunch of different detoxes, going and looking in the mirror and looking at my body, seeing that how skinny I was from the use of drugs, weighing 108, 110 pounds. And when I started going to Rikers Island, and instead of being upset at myself because I was arrested, I literally said to myself I was rescued, because that's how bad it was when I was doing the drugs. I mean, I was like an abusive guy, man. Like, I didn't know when to stop, when to slow down. It was like, out of control, So basically I started just getting my life together when I started seeing the in and out of prison a lot, losing jobs. I always was a workaholic guy, but even I was on drugs, but I used to always love to work. And eventually I started seeing how within 6 to 8 months was the most I could hold on to a job, and then next I'm getting either fired or laid off, and that's when I started realizing I really do have a problem with drugs, because it was a pattern. Like, I would get fired from that particular job, go find another job, and the same thing would happen. All because of the use of my drugs, being out in the streets, chasing it, getting home at 2, 3 in the morning to get up at 6 in the morning to try to hold on to that job that I ideally wanted to hold on to, because that was where I was able to get high from the money I made from my job, Then it got even worse that I started doing illegal activities as far as selling the drugs, because the money that I got paid for my job was not good enough for me to support my habit. So I started, selling drugs, and that got me to much bigger problems. That's when I really, really realized that I needed to seek some help. And I did. I started going, I went to detox, I went to rehabs, I went to residentials. Eventually, it helped me for a while. I stood clean from that type of help that I went out to, look for. And eventually then I'll start using again, and, I ended right back to rock bottom. So it was a pattern that I've been doing it for so many, many years. Now finally, I just got to the age that was tired of living that life, I have my family support now. They always were there for me, but now they're there for me more. I got grandkids that I never look forward to spend time with and do the things that grandfathers and fathers do with their kids. I started doing newer things. That's what's been helping me stay out of not continuing doing drugs, Basically, it boils down to being around people that don't get high, that don't do such things, and being with your family. If you don't got family, then you just got to find somebody that that does not do the drugs, man. That's what I basically found out at the end of the day, that you got to stay clean one day at a time, and staying away from the people and places that that get you to do those things.